Ladies and gentlemen, everyone. Today we're going to revisit one of the most significant milestones in British history, the abolition of slavery in 1833. This moment wasn't just an event, it was the culmination of decades of struggle, advocacy, and courage by individuals who refused to accept the dehumanization of millions. By passing the Slavery Abolition Act, Britain took a monumental step towards justice, freedom, and human dignity. Let's take a closer look at the forces that shaped this historic moment, the individuals who made it possible, and its lasting impact on our society. At its height, the British Empire was built on the backs of enslaved people. For over 2 centuries, the transatlantic slave trade had forcibly transported millions of Africans to colonies in the Caribbean, North and South America, and beyond. These individuals were torn from their families, subjected to inhumane treatment, and forced into a life of labor to enrich plantation owners and fuel Britain's economic power. By the late 18th century, the moral and economic contradictions of slavery were becoming increasingly apparent. Industrialization was transforming the economy, and voices calling for human rights and social justice were growing louder. The abolition of slavery did not come easily. It was the result of relentless campaigning by individuals who fought tirelessly against the institution of slavery. Visionaries like Wilberforce, a member of Parliament, dedicated his life to the cause. Alongside him were other members of the Clapham sect, a group of evangelical Christians committed to social reform. Equally important were figures like Olaudah Equiano, a former enslaved person whose powerful autobiography brought the horrors of slavery to the public's attention, and Granville Sharp, who fought legal battles on behalf of enslaved individuals in Britain. These activists used petitions, public meetings, and literature to awaken the conscience of the nation. The abolitionist movement wasn't confined to Britain. Enslaved individuals in the colonies resisted in ways large and small, staging revolts and defying the systems that sought to dehumanize them. Their courage and resilience were instrumental in forcing change. After years of advocacy and incremental progress, such as the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade in 1807, the British Parliament finally passed the Slavery Abolition Act in 1833. This act freed more than 800,000 enslaved individuals across the British colonies. It was a monumental achievement, but it came with compromises. Plantation owners were compensated for their loss of property, while the enslaved were given their freedom without restitution for their suffering. Additionally, many were required to serve a period of apprenticeship, effectively delaying their full emancipation. The abolition of slavery in Britain was a pivotal moment in the fight for human rights, but it was not the end of the story. Slavery persisted in other parts of the world, and its abolition did not erase the economic and social inequalities created by centuries of exploitation. This history reminds us of the power of collective action and moral courage. It also challenges us to confront the legacies of slavery that still shape our society today, from systemic racism to economic disparities. As we reflect on this chapter of history, let us honor the resilience of those who fought for their freedom and the individuals who dedicated their lives to justice. And let us remember that the struggle for equality and human dignity is a journey that continues in our time. Thank you for listening to this important story. The abolition of slavery in 1833 was not just a legal victory. It was a victory of the human spirit, a reminder of what we can achieve when we stand united for what is right. May the lessons of this history inspire us to work for a more just and equitable world, today and always.